Hi, my name's Sammi Fletcher, and in this tutorial I'm going to show you how to make a quick and easy rose ring using a little carved rose bead. So for this tutorial you'll need some 0.8mm wire, a ring mandrel and some cutters and chain nose pliers. We're going to start this demo using around 60cm of 0.8 wire, and onto this we are going to thread your beautiful little carved rose bead. So you need to check first, obviously, that your wire will go through your bead. So we're just going to slide that on, and you want to get it roughly halfway along. Well, actually you want to get it pretty much exactly halfway along. So I'm just going to check I've got it where I want it. Yep, I do. So at this point, what I'm going to do is just slide it onto the ring mandrel like so. You want to put it just maybe half a size bigger than the size you're going for. Maybe not even that. It's pretty. They come up pretty close to the size you want. The average ring size is an N to an O, so if you're making them to sell, then it's useful to do kind of a lot that size, but they're also really good beads to take along with you to a craft fair, so you can make them to order, because this ring is really nice and quick once you get it down. So what you're going to do is take one end of the wire all the way around, pretty close, make sure it's pretty close, doesn't have to be exactly close to it, and then sticking up so you can see that you have one wire just lying next to that bead. So I'm just going to hold that with my thumb, and I'm going to take the other end carefully all the way around like so, and again I want to make sure that I have the one side, so you have one each side with the wire sticking up. You want to take one end of this wire and you're going to take it all the way around this bead at the top. So what you want to do is make it sure it goes all the way around once, and then pull it nice and firmly, so you can see like that. It's sat there, and then you want to take this one all the way around once, and it's already, you can see it's pretty firm there, it doesn't want to move, but we're going to go all the way around again each side just to make sure. And there we go. So at this point you can still see we have both of the ends of the wire just sticking out. This is fine. So now we're just going to slide this off the ring mandrel, and I'm going to gently squeeze the edges of the shank together like so, and you can see the crossover of the little wires there. It looks pretty, it's just a nice little detail. If it, when it comes down to it, I think any kind of little detail just lifts a piece. However simple the piece is, it really always is about the finish. So you're going to take one of these ends, and these ends are quite long, but that's fine, because the longer you have to work with, the easier it is to do the next bit. So you're just going to poke the end up through the middle of the shank on one side like so. You're going to just make sure that as you're pulling it through, it's not riding down like that, so you want to keep pushing that end up while you're pulling it through nice and firmly, and then all the time you're squeezing this shank together, and I'm just pushing that up with my thumbnail, because that's why I end up with ridges in my thumbnail, to make sure that's really up close to the bead. This also helps to secure the bead, although it doesn't move anyway, but any added security in a ring is a good thing. So I want you to do this around, well, a minimum of 3 times. I recommend 5 because it's just a bit more decorative. It really is up to you if you want to do 10, you want to do, it is up to you, but I do recommend an absolute minimum of 3. So just keep doing this on the one side, pushing it up as firmly as you can. Don't worry at this point if you're not getting that too firmly close together, because I'll show you a little trick in a moment, how to kind of get them close together if you're struggling with your hands. Obviously if you're struggling pulling the ends of the wire through with your fingers, you can grip them with your pliers and pull them up through that way. Normally I wouldn't recommend using pliers to pull wire, because if you're actually using the pliers in that way, you'll work hardening the wire. But at this point, you're just going to trim the ends off, so it doesn't matter. So when you finish one side, just turn the ring around, and I'm actually going to hold on to the lovely little rose bead while I'm doing this side, and I'm just poking it up through carefully. You can see I'm just pushing it to make sure it goes as far as it can up, and I'm twisting my hand while I'm doing it, and then I'm just going to poke it up again and repeat for the same amount. And I haven't trimmed the one side off yet, and that's because sometimes I forget how many I've done on one side, so I want to make sure that I can get them even, and not do too many. If I do too many on this side, because I haven't trimmed that side off, I can go back at this point and just make another one. I don't know if you can hear in the background, but that's Charlie, my parakeet. He wants to come out and say hello, but I think he can come out and say hello to you at another point. Not on the first demo I'm trying to shoot for you. Okay, so I'm just going to pull that one through last time, and then we're going to trim the ends up. Now you can see I've got a tiny little gap. I don't know if you can actually. There's a tiny little gap there. I don't expect anybody to probably notice that except for me, but I'll show you how we deal with that in a minute. And now you can see both wires are coming away from the inside of the shank, and that's exactly where I want them at the moment. So we're going to trim them off. And when we trim them, we want to make sure we don't trim them on the inside here, because as the finger goes through, you can catch, and you really don't want like stabby jewellery. It's not what we're aiming for. We want nice wearable pieces. So I'm just going to trim the wire off there, and I'm going to take my chain nose pliers, and I'm just going to squeeze that end in nice and firmly, because what you don't want is that sticking up and catching on any clothes or any person. Now, what I was saying about this having a little gap here, if you do, all you have to do, get your little pliers in and just give it a squeeze, and you can get rid of any kind of gap by doing that. So I turn it around like so and just squeeze it together. There you go, and it's all completely vanished. Nice and firm. And at this point I will again just squeeze that edge down, and I'm going to run my finger over it at this point, because this is where you can tell if you've got any sharp points, because that's, again, it's not what you want. So yeah, just going to trim the other side off, and then we'll be done. I do recommend these Xuron pliers because they are really easy to use, and they're nice and ergonomic on the hands. So we're just going to trim this edge down, and there you go, and you have a very simple, very effective ring, and it just looks very cute.